Welcome back to New Wave Therapy. Bob Burdikin here, and today I want to talk about a different form of therapy, the therapy of Farrier work and the misgivings that have been around for many years. And as some of you may already know, I've spent over 50 plus years working and living in the trade. I've heard many different statements and answers that are not even close to the truth. But many within the trade have hoped that you'd accept them, and I'd like to go over them and offer an explanation and information for you to ponder. So let's get started. Now, let's get started with one of the worst statements that keeps coming to the surface over and over again. And it's, your horse will need a couple of days to get used to the shoeing that's just been done. Boy, do I love this one. Now first, let me share with you the answer I give to any shoer when I hear this coming out of their mouth. It is, when you send your truck into the shop to have their front end aligned, how long do you let it recuperate before you start to drive it? I usually get a blank stare. It's because they know where I'm going. You know, the truth of the matter is that horses that are shod or trimmed are done so to make them more comfortable. And if a horse has to get used to any type of footwork that's not related to some sort of surgical situation, that work has not been done correctly. There's a fact, if a horse does not walk away from regular hoof care sound, then the person performing that hoof care has done something wrong. You should be able to ride your horse right after it's been shod or trimmed. I've worked with many quality horse trainers that have had me meet them at the horse show, where they were showing on the date of the show, and had me shoe their horses. The reason being is that the horses were ridden that same day in the show ring, and this is based on the results that the trainers received from the foot care the horses received from me. The trainers told me that the best rides they received were on the day that I shod the horse. Now, the fact that a horse needs to be sound after any hoof care that's performed goes all the way back to my early days of learning the basics of the trade, and my very early days date back to working with cattlemen. Now, the working of a cattle ranch usually starts very early in the morning and progresses into the dark of night sometimes. On days that cattle need to be moved, you got up early, often before daybreak, and started to shoe the horses that would be used that very day. Now, not only did you shoe the very horses that you'd be using that very day, but these horses were used all day long, and they had to be sound all day long. It was that solid foundation on soundness and comfort that became the basis of all the horses that I did shoe. And it's true today as it was back in the 1960s. This is why I consider farrier work, or any type of hoof care, to be a therapy method. As a qualified farrier, I set out to make the horse as balanced, sound, and comfortable as possible. This is what is first and foremost in my mind, and should be what is in the mind of any person that performs any type of hoof care. So, what do I mean when I say that a horse needs to be balanced, sound, and comfortable? Let's start with the word balanced. And to me, it means that a foot is set up to work most effectively both front to back and side to side. When this is accomplished, we have balance. Secondly, the word sound defines that the horse has no gait faults or lamenesses that have been created during the work that's been accomplished that could interfere with the horse's natural way of movement. Now, the last word in the phrase is comfortable. And that's rather self-explanatory. We all know what it is to be comfortable, and it's no different for horses than it is for ourselves. If we're not comfortable, we cannot concentrate on what we are doing or what we are being asked to do. What is true for you will be true for your horse. Well, the way I'm diving into these points, we're going to have to make this a series of questions that I have been asked by so many new customers, covering one of these points at a time. Knowing that, I guess it's time to close off this session. I do hope that you got something out of this, the first of many within this series, and that you'll come back often to see what we're talking about. Now remember, we're constantly working on other questions and topics as they come up. Stay on top of all that we're doing by subscribing to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to like our Facebook page. So until next time, this is Bob Burdigan at New Wave Therapy saying thanks for coming by.